Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's do another scary Skinwalker encounters video here. This one yet again coming from the reddit.com website, there from the subreddit called Skinwalkers. But in this case, instead of let's say this encounter happening to someone in real life, it actually occurred to them in their dreams. Imagine that. Imagine something like this infiltrating your dreams and being able to scare the bejesus out of you in those dreams as a held captive. In other words, you can't really do much within your dream itself. There it is, essentially doing everything that it can to scare you. But yes, it occurred to a user by the name of Pixel Ghost T. They titled it as Dreamt of a Skinwalker. So let's go ahead and let's share all the information associated with this unique encounter, and then I'll give my own thoughts on it afterward. So here's essentially what they stated. So for context, yesterday my aunt was telling me that two dogs had come up to the house and had then started going behind our house and into the woods. My aunt is a dog lover, so she went outside to try and call them back over, but they ignored her and kept going into the woods, and my aunt said they never looked at her. They just kept going on. She said one looked like a pit bull and one was a huge white dog, but she couldn't make out what breed it was. I thought it was really weird because we don't see stray dogs out here, but I didn't think much about it at the time because my older dog at the moment was dying. And so he passed away later that day, and it's been rough afterwards. At first, I was having the regular crazy dreams that I usually do, just random things. But at the end of my dream, I was in the garage with my dad, bringing back our younger dog Luna, as if we just took her out. And my dog that passed away was there, laying down in the middle of the garage next to the car. In my dream, I already knew in reality he was gone, but I went to bend down and pet him anyways. That's when I saw a huge white dog staring at me from the other side underneath the car. I knew it was that same dog that my aunt saw, and I just kept staring because something wasn't right about it. The eyes were glowing, and as I kept looking at it, it started shifting into this grotesque humanoid figure right in front of me, and then it started smiling. The most inhumane smile I've ever seen, and my heart stopped because I knew what it was and I was frozen. It then shot up from behind the car, and that's when I abruptly woke up with my heart pounding and shaking. Now, I only ever vaguely did research on skinwalkers and wendigos when I was like 17. And I lived in the suburbs, so I felt safe. But I'm 22 now, and I don't live in the suburbs, but I don't live nearby Navajo land either, just in the dense woods of Georgia. However, I thought this basically sounded like one or something similar. I don't remember much about other little details that you shouldn't talk about them, and if one has found you, they can come to you in the dreams as well. It's been a while, so maybe I'm wrong in remembering some things, or I was fed some misinformation. I also know it could just be a fake dream, a freak one, but it felt like a real warning, and I just kept thinking about it that if it's that dog that my aunt saw, and that was really not a dog, and if it'll come back later on. And then that's it. That's everything that the user Pixel Ghost T stated in their scary encounter. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that here. First off, as I was mentioning a minute ago, while this experience happened in the dream, it looks like it did occur in some ways in real life to that user's aunt. So how about that? They were the first people to see whatever this dog, this weird looking dog was. One of them, actually two of them that they saw, one of them was of course that pit bull, but it was that other one, that huge white dog that didn't necessarily look like any other breed. And they're right, the user was right. Normally, if you call out to a dog, any dog whatsoever, whether you know that dog or not, whether they've met them before or they're just the first time you ever seen them, dogs are pretty good to be able to recognize someone calling out to them. And even if they're friendly or not friendly, they'll react in some way whatsoever. So the fact that this thing didn't do anything at all, in fact, it just kept going forward, not even recognizing or even moving 1 inch in recognition of the aunt calling them, that makes things much more creepier altogether. It just seems like a very unnatural response from a group of dogs. And so the aunt may have had at least that initial encounter with whatever that thing was, that white dog that was acting as a skinwalker slash dog right from the get-go. The fact, though, that this dream later occurred to the user, I'm curious as to why that was, because that user didn't run into that dog, nor did that user seemingly talk to his aunt about anything else related to her experience. So it's interesting that this thing, whatever it was, later made that appearance in their dream. Obviously, there was that tragedy involving their older dog passing away. Maybe that's the closest link. Maybe it sensed that there was something happening in that user's life that caused that user to go to a downtrodden place, a very, very low place in their life, and it wanted to take advantage of it, right? Then there you read about those circumstances, how certain entities, really dark ones, just navigate towards someone being in a depressed or some other type of really bad state. And when that happens, they seem to feed off of that type of energy. So who knows, maybe it recognized that fact, that environment coming from that user, and that's why it targeted them within the dream itself. And then, of course, it almost tried to toy with him or her altogether by portraying just a standard garage, the garage that presumably was theirs, and then the car that was theirs as well, and then the dog that was just recently passed away, but there it was, almost seemingly alive within the dream itself, just resting there on the floor of the garage. And then boom, that's when it makes its appearance. That's when it saw the user saw it, and then it did that quote unquote most inhumane smile that they'd ever seen. I've read about that too. I've chronicled that too as well. How in some of the other encounters that people have had, they have this unique, creepy as hell smile, an ear-to-ear wide smile that just creeps up from side to side. And it's obviously not a good smile. This is not something involving good intentions. This is something just purely sinister, purely evil. And clearly, whenever they saw that, this thing enjoyed the fear that it created within the user, and then it gave that immediate chase. Thankfully, though, the body reacts to that type of situation in dreams to make sure that nothing bad happens permanently to the person, and so it causes that jerk reaction for them to wake up, and then that's what occurred to this user here. Maybe there's another link to it. They used to live over apparently in some actually they didn't live nearby Navajo land, but I got the impression that they did before. I wish they would have put more details as to those circumstances, but now living in Georgia in the dense woods area, who knows, that may still be some link involving Navajo land too. But that's pretty much it. That's everything associated with this super creepy encounter. But if anybody has any more info, anything else I might have missed, then please post those comments below. Have you heard of any other type of strange experiences people have had with skinwalkers in their dreams? If so, then please post those comments below too. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.